And that is why doctors won't come onto my live. So, again, anybody who knows a doctor or a nurse still pushing this shit, I want at all of them. Nurse science Steph, what pushing people mean? I'm a nurse and I highly encourage people to get vaxxed. Come on up, Steph. Oh, and what section of nursing do you work?
So I have a PhD in nursing and I work in a hospital. So I would say that I'm kind of over all of nursing. I don't have a specialty.
Okay. Hi, Steph. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Are you vaccinated?
I am.
Against COVID?
Yep.
All of them?
All of them. Everything.
And so what is the actual official count for the amount of vaccines that people are getting for COVID now?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So what section were you working during COVID?
So I do research in the hospital setting, and I also I help nurses bring research evidence into their clinical practice. So speed up the time. It takes on average 17 years for research to get into clinical practice. So helping speed up that time from that research evidence to get into clinical practice. So helping nurses read research and implement that research. So for example, like during COVID, a lot of the techniques, like when they had to ventilate patients, like learning that it helped to prone patients, like flip them over on their stomachs, stuff like that.
Okay. What are your thoughts on remdesivir? Well, that's a big sigh.
Well, it's not a big sigh. I don't really.
Oh, it's a big sigh. I heard a big sigh. I know what I heard.
No, I know. I just am sighing more because I haven't necessarily kept up on that evidence. I don't have a lot of opinions about it necessarily.
But it was a part of the protocol, and
yeah, totally.
There were some doctors that were very much against using it as a protocol, but then they were told that it had no choice to be used. So like there is a claim saying that it's a 54% mortality rate when using it because it shuts down your kidneys and shuts down your immune system.
Yeah, I guess like my big sigh is always, in these kind of situations, like we saw with COVID, we're kind of, the science is rapidly evolving. Like we're kind of guessing and we're throwing the spaghetti at the wall, so to speak. And it is a little scary, and I totally understand, but
it's like a little bit of a sweep under the rug for the question I asked you.
Well, that's fine. I can't speak to the specifics of remdesivir.
If you don't know, just say.
Okay, that's fine.
So you don't actually know anything about remdesivir?
No, I don't know a lot about it, no.
Okay. Do you know about vancomycin, dexamethasone, and Paxlovid?
I know a little bit about them.
So if they're making, if the knowledge of the remdesivir shutting down the immune system and then giving a steroid or antiviral also has effects on the kidneys and liver, when you have a 54% mortality rate on the remdesivir, why would they compound that by adding something that would make that 54% even higher?
And what do you mean compound? Compound with what?
So here, let's go through them. What are the negative side effects of Paxlovid?
According to Yale Medicine, the most common side effects of taking Paxlovid include impaired sense of taste, for example, a metallic taste in the mouth, and diarrhea, according to the FDA. Most people who take Paxlovid should not experience serious side effects, explains Dr. Roberts. Paxlovid is usually very well tolerated, he says.
But if you've already compromised the immune system and you're having diarrhea, what does diarrhea cause?
Dehydration.
And if you're having a medication that's already affecting the kidneys, why would you want to compound that?
Well, it's all risk benefit.
Yeah, it's all benefit for the system and their numbers. Okay. What are the negative side effects of dexamethasone?
Here's a summary from Medline Plus. Upset stomach, stomach irritation, vomiting, headache, dizziness, insomnia, restlessness, depression, and more.
What is the negative side effects of vancomycin?
Here's a summary from Mayo Clinic. Side effects: black, tarry stools, bleeding gums, blood in the urine or stools, continuing ringing or buzzing or other unexplained noise in the ears, cough or hoarseness, dizziness or lightheadedness, and more.
Sounds like a kidney issue again.
Yeah, vancomycin is rough on your kidneys for sure. Why are you asking these questions? I guess
because you've got a PhD and you've overlooked some very serious issues. That's my sort of issue. I think that all of these things should have been looked at when we had things that were being said that, there were a lot of doctors that were using various different methods that were working great in treating COVID. But then the WHO and the CDC moved in and didn't allow, or public health didn't allow doctors anymore to practice their own experiments, we'll say, and where things were where they were working and they were having positive effects. So I'm addressing the main issue. So do you think that it's wise that when a patient shows up with suffering from hypoxia or symptoms similar to hypoxia, which they did find that a lot of the patients when they were doing blood tests were finding low oxygen blood count. Can you confirm or deny that?
Repeat the question. That patients were showing up with hypoxia? Is that what you're asking me?
Low,
yes.
Low oxygen blood count.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if they're having issues with hypoxia and then they show up, would you want to put them in a negative pressure room or something like a hyperbaric chamber where it would be a positive pressure room with oxygen enrichment? A couple percentage.
I guess the latter.
Okay. So they didn't do that. All right. So then moving forward, when you have thick mucus gel in your lungs, do you think that it's best to, say, use an expectorant that would flush the lungs out, which would allow for a new, clean, fresh layer for the alveoli to be able to attempt to transfer oxygen in the blood? Or do you think it would be better to shove a tube down someone's throat where they can no longer cough up phlegm and it would actually drown them, which happened, the exact same thing happened during the avian flu in the 90s, where patients were drowning on their own mucus because it was literally being shoved into their, we'll call it a sponge. Keep shoving it in and it'll just absorb. So what's your thoughts on that?
I don't really want to comment on that, only because I don't honestly know how all of that works, because I'm not an intensivist.
I'm not an PhD. How come I don't have any medical career or schooling, but I can go find stuff and use my knowledge and my logic, and logic does not make sense that if you want a sponge to be clean, you squeeze it out and get it clean.
You think that, but that's not. Things aren't as clear as that in medicine.
Yeah, I think that they are very clear. Look, this is science, and I'm a man of science. So,
well, I'm a woman of science. I have a PhD,
you don't know. You should know this. These are basic things. That's
not how that works.
Why didn't you investigate? If you have a science mind, this is a science experiment. You should have investigated.
Hold, please. Hey.
Not surprised. And that is why doctors won't come onto my live. They always run. Maybe she'll come back, but majority of them don't come back. So, again, anybody who knows a doctor or a nurse still pushing this shit, I want at all of them. If you haven't followed me, please follow me. I'm starting the largest movement going against Big Pharma, the medical industry, the government, for all of the genocides they've conducted, not only for the last 5 years, but it seems that it goes back all the way back to the 17 fucking hundreds with these politicians. So we're literally going to start something that they're not going to be able to stop. Hey guys, you might as well take me out now, because if you don't take me out now, I'm telling you, this is going to get too big and they're going to take you all down. And that I was just doing my job ain't going to fucking cut it where you guys all get to go and disperse all amongst the world like they did in after World War II. Yeah. You guys should go look up Project Paperclip. You know, the same people that run the worldwide medical industry? Yeah. Those were the Mustache Man's people. And we won?